My father passed away right before my eyes. Although I should have been overwhelmed with grief, the transcendent moment right before he died filled me with peace, comfort, happiness, and hope. As a lifelong atheist, I never imagined anything could shake my disbelief. You couldn't even pay me to go to church. Church was for losers. But not just losers. In my opinion, the people that went to church, those that believed in God, at the time, to me, they were complete imbeciles. How stupid could they be? I thought to myself, here we are living in the 21st century, and these morons still believe in fairy tales. They might as well believe in Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and maybe even the Tooth Fairy. But the profound experience of my father's passing changed everything. End-stage heart failure had brought my father to the hospital many times before, but this visit was fraught with complications from the start. He'd been in the hospital for weeks, originally just for a routine procedure to improve circulation in his legs. But complications arose immediately. His foot was swollen, infected, possibly needing amputation. But the doctor who suggested this was nowhere to be found over the weekend. The nursing staff seemed helpless, unable to reach the doctor when we needed answers. His condition led to delirium. He oscillated between clarity and confusion, sometimes recognizing me, other times lost in hallucinations. It was heartbreaking to see him like this, unable to have one last coherent conversation. Despite the doctor's efforts, which seemed too little too late, the surgery to place stents and a balloon had failed, though it did improve the appearance of his legs, no longer purple as they had been. Yet his feet, where the real problem lay, got no better. A simple cut, not healing, worsened by insufficient oxygen due to his failing heart. The reality that this might be the end began to sink in when hospice was called in just days after what was supposed to be a simple operation. Each day brought a cycle of hope and despair. One moment he was somewhat himself, the next he was gone again, lost to the strokes that we found out he had been suffering quietly for months. Finally, the decision for comfort care was upon us. Bringing him home felt like the only right choice, away from the indifferent hospital environment. At home, though he didn't recognize the place, thinking he was going back to his childhood home, there were moments of lucidity that gave me fleeting hope. But they were just that, fleeting. As his condition worsened, as indicated by his darkening urine and declining appetite, the inevitable loomed closer. Then, in his final moments, something miraculous happened. As I sat by his side, he suddenly reached out with a huge smile, as if he saw someone beloved, someone divine. Maybe it was an angel, or his parents long gone. He looked ecstatic, at peace. And just like that, he was gone. His passing, though heartbreaking, left me with an undeniable sense of peace. It was as if he had seen something, someone that confirmed there was indeed something more beyond this life. This moment, so unexpected, so profound, has stayed with me, challenging every disbelief I held about life and what follows after. My father's passing left me with a profound sense of peace, a feeling so powerful it forced me to reconsider everything I believed about life and what comes after. But this wasn't the first time something seemingly otherworldly had touched my family. Many years ago, when I was just a 5-year-old boy, my father shared with me a dream he had the night after his own father died of cancer, a dream that had stayed with him ever since. In the dream, my grandfather appeared to him, dressed in an all-white suit, looking serene and healthy, a stark contrast to his final days consumed by illness. He spoke to my father, reassuring him that he was okay, but with one peculiar instruction: do not touch me, no matter what you do. The moment my father woke from that dream, he felt an overwhelming sense of energy and peace, ready to face the world again, despite his deep grief. For years, I dismissed this story as nothing more than a psychological coping mechanism, a projection of my father's mind grappling with his loss. I grew up to value science and reason over faith, dismissing such experiences as mere quirks of the human psyche. However, everything changed the day I experienced the very same dream. My father, in the same all-white suit, appeared before me with the same warning. The intensity of the dream, the vividness of the encounter, it was unlike anything I had ever experienced. I woke up not just convinced, but knowing in every fiber of my being that this was real. It felt as though I had been touched, or even possessed by something divine, what many would call the Holy Spirit. It was a true miracle, a turning point that brought me something I hadn't truly had in years: faith. The dream's symbolism and meaning. From a believer's perspective, Such a dream can be seen as a visitation, a reassurance from the beyond that our loved ones are at peace and still connected to us. The prohibition against touching could symbolize the separation between the physical world and the afterlife, a boundary that the living cannot cross until their time comes. It's also a reminder of the sacredness of the spiritual realm, which should not be infringed upon lightly. From a scientific viewpoint, such dreams could be explained through the lens of grief psychology. Bereavement often triggers vivid dreams and visions, which can be the brain's way of processing loss and providing comfort. The specific details of the dream, such as the instruction not to touch, might arise from subconscious fears or unresolved guilt associated with the loved one's death. Regardless of the explanation one chooses to embrace, the impact of these experiences can be profoundly transformative. For me, it tore down the barriers I had built around my understanding of the world. It showed me that some things might be beyond our current understanding of science or nature, and that in itself has restored a sense of wonder and possibility that I thought was lost. Now, with renewed faith, I navigate life with an openness to the mysteries it holds, whether they be of this world or beyond. What you just heard, ladies and gentlemen, was a brief version of my story, my experiences in life. If you'd like to hear more details about my experience, make sure to let me know in the comments. But I also want to hear from you. Am I just a weirdo? Have you ever experienced what I just described? Please let me know. Before you get out of here, if you're new to my channel, I am personally inviting you to join our growing family. It's completely free, and all you have to do is hit the subscribe button. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.